All right. Good evening, everybody. Lakeisha-mcknight is here. Welcome to the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. I'm your senior coach, your host, Lakeisha-mcknight, with this exciting podcast being brought to you on behalf of Women of Elevation Career Services International. Right now, we're live inside of the Women of Elevation group on Facebook. We're also live over at womenofelevatio.com and other audio podcast platforms. And so welcome aboard, everyone, and I'm glad to be here on tonight. Now, remember, this podcast normally goes live every Tuesday and Wednesday around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know sometimes a little bit after, depending on how busy and hectic the evening is. We definitely do want to make sure we bring this value to you, whether you listen in live or you catch the replay. We're here to provide this content for you. And so it is Wednesday, June the 3rd of 2020. And so we've embarked upon a series, even continuing the series from last month, talking about key ingredients to helping you to initiate and maintain healthy personal relationships. And of course, I'm giving you a key ingredient and of course, connecting it to even my own experience. And I want you to think about your own experience in personal relationships as well. Because remember, the reason why we're focusing in on this topic is because it's one of our core areas, relate, right? So we want to help you grow your personal and professional relationships to be healthy because we know that they impact your ability to succeed in your careers. And so the key ingredient that I want to talk about tonight is honesty and transparency. Honesty and transparency. So as you listen into this podcast, whether it's now or a little bit later, let me know by just simply liking or loving this stream. That lets me know how many of you are actually listening in and plugging in. But I'm going to continue to be as consistent as possible in providing this valuable content for you. And I'm going to give you a heads up about the things which are to come. So understand that sharing thoughts and feelings honestly through direct face-to-face interactions can really prevent unnecessary ill feelings. Okay, so keeping in mind that, the other person's feelings and communicating those feelings can really help to bridge any communication gaps. So even the happiest and healthiest people become upset at times. So being transparent with our emotions, it's important for us to do that. Be transparent with our emotions and our words. It can also prevent misunderstandings that can really escalate into arguments. So again, we have to be mindful. We have to be as transparent with our emotions as possible, never assuming that the other person knows exactly how we feel, but just being straightforward. Okay, being as straightforward as possible. And so keep this in mind with, maybe you're engaged, maybe you're newly married, or you've been married for some time. Keep this in mind as you are navigating life with your significant other. Maintaining honesty, maintaining transparency is the key to a healthy, thriving relationship. And so that's really, I'm just going to be straightforward because even with myself and my husband, I try to be as transparent as possible. I can't speak on his behalf, but but I definitely try to be as transparent as possible with my feelings and being mindful how that's coming across and making sure that it's clear because I never want to assume that my husband understands exactly how I'm feeling and that he understands the way by which I communicate that as well. So I just, I ask him questions like, do you understand what I mean? Do you understand how I feel? Do you understand why I said it this way? And I just asked him just to kind of share what his thoughts are based on what I said so that I can understand that he understands. So hopefully that makes sense to you as you're listening into this message tonight. So again, I'm just going to say thank you so much on behalf of the entire team, Women of Elevation, the board leaders. Thank you so much for your time on tonight. I mean, I appreciate your time, whether you're dropping in, doing a drive-by here, or whether you're tuning in and a little bit later and listening into the replay. I appreciate you, and we just want you to thrive in this season. When we're going through these challenging times, it's important that you work on your relationships because depending on what you're doing, you're still in quarantine with your significant other. And so you want to have a healthy relationship. And so I appreciate you. Remember, we're looking forward to really releasing information regarding the upcoming panel event, the telesummit, that's going to be coming up next month in July. So stay tuned for details, all right? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. Look forward to kind of dropping in more information inside of the Women of Elevation group. Also, receive some updates about Women of Elevation by visiting our website, which is www.womenofelevation.com. Be blessed, everyone. Have an amazing evening. And we'll be back with this podcast and more great content on next week. Take care, everyone.